What's going on, everybody? Christian Hernandez here with Sports Video Group. We're here with yet another edition of our SVG Sports Tech On Demand, covering all the news and notes from this spring season. I have the utmost pleasure to be speaking with Greg Morrow. He's the general manager of Fuel for Bitcentral. Greg, how you doing, sir? And how's your 2021 going so far?
2021 is going well. We've got a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline, and we're looking forward to kind of the pandemic, opening up and sports coming back to life. As a fan, and as a platform provider, I'm really excited.
Yes, that return is twofold. For fans that can come back so you can go to a game and enjoy yourself, and also for the business side, things are starting to expand, which is also always good. That's what we're here to talk about, what you guys have been up to recently. But if I'm someone and I don't know who Bitcentral is, and this is the first time that I'm watching this, give a quick overview of the company and some recent products that you've kind of developed over the past couple of months or to a year.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bitcentral has actually been around for 20 years, building kind of video workflow solutions really focused in the broadcast news space. And so we have a great market share. We work with very large partners across North America and South America. And that's been the genesis of the company. But several years ago, the company saw a need in the digital publishing space to take some of that technology from the broadcast side and bring it to the digital side. And that was the birth of Fuel. And so if we think about kind of a traditional digital video experience, I pick a video from a set of tiles, I get a pre-roll and I watch that video, and then I'm forced to kind of watch the next, pick the next video, get a pre-roll and watch that video. It's kind of a standard experience. What Fuel has done is really created a rules-based engine to stitch content together based on the publisher, what the publisher wants, and turn kind of a lean forward, hunt and peck experience into a lean back television-like experience, incorporating kind of TV-like transitions and ad pods. And it's been well received by publishers in the news space, but also really we've seen great interest from sports publishers in our approach, on both how we manage live content and how we manage archive or VOD assets.
Right. The television side of the industry has been, I guess, setting the course for the digital side a couple of years ago, but now the digital side and streaming is its own entity and it's always changing. But it sounds like Fuel is doing some awesome things. It's to kind of create their own lane, as you can say. I guess the next question, based off that, trends that will kind of emerge that you see will kind of cause an impact over the next year or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, one of the broad-based trends we see is, there used to be a time where broadcast lived in the broadcast lane and digital lived in the digital lane, and you had digital natives and broadcast natives. And what's great about Bitcentral, I've come from a 20-year background of digital publishing, in the video space. A lot of the people at Bitcentral come from that broadcast space and bring those two sides of the equation together. And so you see more and more companies really merging their workflows together. So I think you're going to see a continued trend of looking at how do we create efficient workflows, that complement each other. And part of the reason why we're seeing that is we're seeing an increased complexity of distribution. If you think about it, people need to distribute to their websites. They need to distribute to their mobile apps, their CTV apps. And now there's, fast channel distribution into the Pluto TVs and Zumos. And then they need, social distribution. And oftentimes those technologies and platforms are different platforms. And so a publisher has to manage content in different sets of platforms with different rules. And so I think there's, one of the emerging opportunities we see is to reduce the complexity of this chaotic environment. It's going to continue to get more complex. And so having great partners that reduce that complexity is important. I think the other thing that we're going to see is a continued effort towards monetization experimentation. So, paywalls versus, pay-per-view events versus ad-supported versus squeezebacks and sponsorships. So there's going to be a continued, experimentation to kind of balance the consumer need with the publisher need. And then I think, the last thing that we see is really, that is a trend that's continuing to emerge, is the sports rights holders becoming media companies.
Right.
Well, you think about the ESPN or the Fox Sports or Bally Sports now, they have a big infrastructure to be a media company. Well, with the birth of social, a lot of the rights holders and even teams have grown a massive social audience, and in order to leverage that audience, they're becoming publishers, in their own right, but yet they don't want to staff a huge publishing organization. And so really having great tools and technology to allow them to connect with their team or their league's fans without creating a huge staff in that process is going to be a valuable thing. And so we continue to talk to rights holders, leagues and teams about their needs and about how we can continue to evolve our capability to support those, to either complement the live event that's maybe distributed in rights, or recirculate archive content, or microcast a channel to a specific fan of a specific athlete. And so if you could program a channel to Harry Kane or LeBron James, the ability for that microcasting to a specific fan, I think, is very valuable. And I think the ability to allow these leagues and publishers to have that intimate connection with consumers is incredibly valuable.
Right. Specialize in catered content to draw the attention of certain fans that may like the Premier League or may like racing or a certain player in each of those leagues. Those are the trends that people will be looking for, and I appreciate you serving those up. But Greg, thank you for taking the time, sir. Best of luck the rest of 2021. We very much look forward to hearing about Bitcentral success, and thanks for taking the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.